Well, are you ready? Are you ready? Hi, my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Summer School for Stitching 2026. I tell you, I have been excited as I've been working on projects and stitches and charts and some fun things too, with a lot of information I hope I can share this summer with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Bird is here, and like I said, I'm excited and ready to go. And I just want you to just kind of sit back and take notes, and just see if you like what you hear and see. Thank you so much to all my friends everywhere for sharing my videos and for all your support. Now, I'm so excited. I want to get right into it and show you this beautiful stitch. All right, back in just a minute. All right, my friends, before we get started, for those that are new to Jay's Summer School for Stitching, I started this a few years ago, where I thought, a lot of stitches and projects that I couldn't get through during the regular part of the year. Summertime, you want to take it slow, and we don't need a lot of hot yarns and a lot of big projects. So I simply came up with an idea. Why don't I just go through the motions and the information and tell you how I come up with projects and designs. And let me show you this beautiful stitch that we're going to be working tonight. I want you to look at it. It's a really pretty lace stitch, and you won't believe how easy it is. There it is, just really pretty, see-through, and then the wrong side is just going to be a simple purl back. So just very simple to get this 2026 edition started. Okay, let me lay that down, and I'm going to be sharing. This is June. I'm kicking this off in June, which is my birthday month. So I will have some surprises. If you stay with me, I'm going to share a lot of surprises with you. I'm not only going to share a new design. Gotta wait. You're going to get a new design, but you're going to get just a plethora of new stitches. Just some simple stitches, beautiful, simple to make, but beautiful to look at, that I got off of in the public domain, off of Pinterest, and just looking, just looking through stitch books. That's where I work all of my designs, from stitch books. And if that's new to you, you're in the right place, because I love it. So you're going to get, and then you're going to get a lot of new charts. Going to get a lot of new charts, and I'm going to break down not only the stitch, but I'm going to break down the charts also, and how you can improve your knitting skills no matter what level you're on. I am not a professional teacher or anything like that, or certified, but I am a seasoned knitter who loves to share, but I also love to learn. And why not let us do it together and grow together? So that's the whole idea of Summer School for Stitching. Not so much worry about, what's next, but enjoy this process that I will be sharing with you, just step by step. But before we can even get started, we are going to knit tonight, and you will simply need some. I normally use number 4 medium weight, just something out of your stash. This is a stash buster. I normally like to use US number 8, size 8 needles, or 9s. They just work really great with the weight of the yarn. So whatever feels good in your hands, whether it's an 8 or whether it's a number 9, feel free to just get that out of your stash also. And then we are going, like I said, I will break down the chart when we get to it. But before we can do any of that, I have a surprise already before we even get started. Guess what? Look. Okay, this is not my ASMR, but guess what? We're going to have a quiz. A quiz? Yes. We're going to just have a quiz to kind of get it a little excitement and just show you sometimes things that you think are hard are not hard at all. If you just stop and take a pause and, let's see. I think I can do that. So are you ready? I'm excited. I'm ready to go. So before we can knit though, let me tell you about my quiz. All right, I'll be back in just a moment. All right, my friends. So just to share with you and to make it fun and just to see what you think, we're going to talk about, of course, the symbols. Now you can go on, of course, Google, and you can Google up symbols from everywhere. There's like a plethora of symbols, but most of them are in different languages, of course, and a lot of them are just strange, you know. So we're going to start with basic because I'm like I said, seasoned, but I'm very basic. And the two most basic stitches that I use, besides the yarn over, are the decrease stitches. Yarn overs increase, and then you need a decrease stitch to bring the stitch count back to where it should be. And most people here in the U.S., if it's a left-leaning decrease, you see how this line, we use it all the time. It's a very basic symbol. If it leans to the left, then we do a slip-slip knit. A lot of other countries do slip one, knit one, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. But I just normally do a slip-slip knit. It gets the job done. It's the decrease. So I'm going to lay that there. Going to the left. All right, the right leaning, the opposite of a left leaning would be a right leaning decrease. And it's a line leaning to the right. And so we normally just say knit two together. But as you see, as we're going to see, there are so many ways not only to interpret, but to write it. So I've just taken a few. This doesn't even touch how many different symbols. And we could just make up symbols of our own. But it's best if you're going to teach something or try to help people to get something that people can remember and can understand. So I'm just gonna pick one at random. I've just got them laid out here. I don't know. I turned them over so that I could not see, and I want to see what you think. Let's just pick up a symbol. All right, here is a symbol that I would find on any chart, any basic beginner chart. Say if I saw, on Pinterest. Like I say, I read a lot of charts off of Pinterest because I just enjoy the thrill of trying to figure it out. Here, now would you say these are the two categories for tonight? Either it's a left-leaning decrease or it's a right-leaning decrease. Which one do you think this would be? Just plain and simple. Which decrease do you think this represents? Now, I'm not going to give you the answer right away. You got to wait to the end. But go ahead and make the symbol. On your little sheet of paper, put your left leaning, SSK, or slip one, knit one, pass the slip stitch over if you want to sit there and write that out, or the one leading to the right. And then you put the symbol under where you think it should go. I'm going to lay it over here for now. Okay, let's mix them up again. This is a quiz. Don't be trying to go. All right, you ready? That's the next symbol. These are basic symbols now. Two categories. Oh, what is that? What is that? What is that? Looks like a big dirty spot. Is it a dirty spot, Jay? What is it? Okay. Well, I've got it so that I know the right side how it should look. Which category? Is it a left leaning or a right leaning decrease? Where would you put this one? All right, I'm going to lay that over. Mix them up, mix them up. Don't look, don't look. Okay, here we go. Whoa, what is that? What is that? Look at that one. Which category do you think this symbol will go into out of the two categories we have? You only have two tonight. Either a slip, slip, leaning to the left, or knit two together, leaning to the right. On your sheet of paper, make the symbol under which one you think it is. All right, let's go on. Oh, let's see what this guy's there. Oh. Well, look. This one we can turn, but if I hold the card in the proper position, it's going this way. Now, what does that mean? Which category would it go into? You're going to put it on your sheet of paper, draw the symbol, and we'll find out at the end. All right. A few more. Let's go. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting, isn't it? I don't have to think a moment about this. I don't know. It's kind of going in both directions, Jay. Wonder, what could it be? Put it on your paper. Here we go. Let's see. Now I'll go get it. Oh my gosh. Okay, now my eyes are playing tricks on me, Jay. Now I can't keep up. Which one would this be? Put it on your sheet of paper. And let's see if you're right. For our first quiz, I gave you a clue in the first few seconds that I was speaking. I gave you a clue how to kind of look at things. Oh, now there's that again. Oh my gosh, Jay. And one last one left. Ta-da! What could that be? Tell me what category does that go into? Okay. All right. This quiz is over. Everyone, close your book. And I will be right back, and we will get ready to look at the chart and prepare our chart. No peeking going on Google or nothing. All right, back in just a moment. All right, so now I'm back, and I made sure that I took some good screenshots of the chart so that you would have it. I like to do what I call preparing the chart. If you've been with me, you know how easy this is. This works. First of all, I'm giving you the swatch. The swatch is simply, here's the stitch in the bow. You see the bow lines, okay? And there's 8 stitches across. Every time you want to repeat, it's 8 stitches. And at the very end, repeat, you'll add a +1. We're using the left leaning decrease and the opposite decrease, the right leaning. Slip, slip, knit for the left, and knit 2 together for the right. The circles represent yarn overs, and the decreases keeps the whole pattern from in check. Keep the decreases from just growing the pattern. It keeps it in check so that the stitch count stays the same as we're working, unless for some reason it needs to change. Alright, so on this swatch, here's the swatch. Let's see. Let me show you this. Alright, this is the main, like I say, stitch. And I do yellow highlights. I always do yellow highlights to tell me where the repeat is, because in some charts, in some countries, a lot of them sometimes don't tell you where the repeat is. You just, I don't know how it works, but I'm learning. But this tells me the repeat starts here, goes across. When you get to this yellow highlight, stop. If you're going to repeat it again, go back to the front of the box where it's highlighted again. Go back across, stop. Again, stop. When you get to the last repeat, no matter how many times you repeat it, there's a one stitch at the end that you have to add. That's all. All the white empty boxes or squares are knit stitches on the front. Here are the rows of the front of the work. And unless otherwise, on this little chart, we're just going to purl back. The swatch. The swatch, I've taken 3 times 8 is 24. And with the +1, it makes it 25 stitches. I want a little border right here just to keep it from rolling and all that. It just looks nice. I'm just put 4. You can put anything you want. But we're going to use 4. It's just easy, and that's what I use a lot. So when I add all this up, it tells me to cast on 33 stitches. And you are to knit 2 rows, or go ahead and knit 2 rows. As you can see in this beautiful sample, look at what 3, did you notice there's only 1, 2, 3 symbols? A left decrease, a right decrease, and the yarn overs made this beautiful, pretty simple lace. This is just real simple, people. Oh, I got some good stuff coming, but you know, I want to start off because, like I said, I got a lot of new people. All right, so there's the swatch. Knit 2 rows, and we're going to get started on row 1 of this beautiful swatch. This is Jay's Summer School Stitching 2026. Back in just a minute. All right, everyone, let's get ready to knit. I can tell you right away, I suggest, you know, to go ahead and get a few markers if you want to separate your repeats. It just makes it easier in case you make a mistake. You can just check the one repeat that you had the mistake in, because you'll have it marked. So I've taken mine out, but I'll put them back in as we go across, and I have something to separate each border. All right, the first thing we have to do is knit a 4-stitch border. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I am on row 1. Row 1 starts with knit 1, yarn over, leaning to the left, slip, slip, knit. That's the symbol. All right, then knit 3. I've pre-counted. 1, 2, and 3. All right, symbol leaning to the right. I'm going to knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over, stop. That means I need to go back up to repeat, so I'm going to stick a marker on there if you want to, so you don't have to keep up with it. Back to the front of the box where it's the highlight, and it's going to be, now hold that yarn over behind, so you have to kind of hold it. Put your needle in the next stitch, and then hold that marker and yarn over. Okay, now knit 1. Okay, oops, and I just dropped a stitch. Let me pick it back up. I just put lotion on my hands, and that just shows you how easy it is for it to slip off. Okay, so it's knit 1, okay, after the marker. Now yarn over again. Then you're going to slip, slip, knit. Knit 3. 2 and 3, okay. Then the symbol leaning to the right. Knit 2 stitches together. And then there's a yarn over in the highlight. So I'm going to put another marker. Again, back to the front of the box. Knit 1. Yarn over. Slip, 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 knit. Knit 3. 1, oops. Oh, my lotion. I put too much on 1. 2, 3. Okay. Then you'll have a knit 2 stitches together. Then there's a yarn over, and then this is the last repeat. So remember, you have the plus 1, and there's my plus 1 right there. Plus 1. You can see my hand shining. Okay. After I do that, I will slide the border marker. I'll put one on. Hope you have one. 1, 2, 3. I knit 4 on every row. Of course, you don't see much right now. This is just at the bottom, but you can see I have my markers in. Now, when you turn the work, we've already established, when I set up the chart, the wrong side, we're just going to knit the borders and then purl this whole section in between. That's the chart. I will see you on row 3. And I'll wipe some of this lotion off. I'll see you on row 3. Okay, I'm back and ready for row 3 of our nice lace chart. Okay, I finished my 4-stitch border. I slide the marker. Row 3, right there, starting in the highlight, it says knit 2. 1, 2, yarn over. Now stop, because this symbol, the symbol before this was leaning to the left. This symbol on row 3 is leaning to the right. So I knit 2 stitches together. I knit 1 stitch kind of in the middle. Then I slip, knit the next symbol. Okay. Then yarn over, knit 1. And we've already put a marker just in case if I needed to, go back and check something. Now I slide the marker, and the yellow highlight tells me to go back up to the front of the box. After that, yarn over, knit 1. Now I'm back here at the beginning. Okay, it says knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, and knit 2 stitches together, knit 1. I'm going to slip, knit again. Alright, then I'm going to yarn over, knit 1 in the highlight, because this is just a second repeat. Now, slide the marker and go back up to the beginning of the row again for the last repeat. Knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over. Now knit 2 stitches together, knit 1, slip, knit the next symbol. Okay, now yarn over, and I should have 1 stitch left in the highlight and 1 stitch as the plus 1. So that's, I end row 3 with knit 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Alright, slide the marker for the border, everywhere, and just knit the 4 stitches. Okay, here we go. And if you check, the repeat was 8 stitches and then the plus 1 at the end. So if you made a mistake and you had to check the stitch count of these repeats, it should be 8 stitches and then a marker, then 8 more stitches, the marker, and the last repeat should be 8 stitches plus the 1. Just a little reminder. Alright, wrong side. Work purl the wrong side except for the borders. I will see you at row 5. See, it goes real fast if you get that chart all ready to go. Row 5. We are at row 5. I do the border and slide the marker. Row 5 starts again, like row 3. Knit, right here at the highlight, knit 2. 1, 2. Alright, now, look at your stitches carefully. After 2, then go ahead, instead of a yarn over, there's knit 2 stitches together. There's a symbol right there. So knit 2 stitches together, then do the yarn over, then knit 1 in the center, then a yarn over, then a slip, 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 knit. All right, knit 1. You got that 1 in the highlight right there, see it? Knit 1. We are working row 5. All right, that's the end of the first repeat. Slide the marker. Let's go back up to the front of the box. We put the highlight there so you can easily know where to start. All right, knit 2. 1, 2, leaning to the right, knit 2 stitches together. Then the yarn over, then a knit 1, yarn over again, then slip, slip, knit, slip, slip, knit, and then there's that knit 1 at the end. Okay, but I have one more repeat. So I have to slide the marker and go back up to the front of the box again. Row 5 again says knit 2, 1, 2, leaning, then the symbol leaning to the right, knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, slip, 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 knit. Now I see the highlight, and then there's a box after the highlight, the extra. So that means I end row 5 with a knit 2. 1, 2. Now I'm back at the border, slide the marker, and knit my 4 stitches. So far, so good. Okay. You'll begin to see something shortly. Okay? But just take your time. I'll tell you a little more when we get up to the top. All right, so now we're ready. Of course, you'll purl on the wrong side, and I will see you back at row 7, the last pattern row. Now, doesn't that sound great? So I'm going to turn, and I'm going to purl, and I will see you back shortly. All right, look, the light at the tunnel came quicker than we thought, didn't it? Didn't take very long, because we're going to do a project. And I can't wait to tell you about it. Well, I won't tell you too much, but all right, row 7 is the last pattern row. So I knit my board and slide my markers. Now let's look at it. All right, in the yellow highlight where it starts, it says row 7, knit 1. Then the symbol leaning back to the left. See, we're just switching back and forth. So I slip, slip, knit because it's going to the left. Then yarn over. Then I have 3 stitches, my 3 friends. How many remember my 3 friends? They always line up in knitting. So I knit my 3 friends. My 1, 2, 3. Now I yarn over, and guess what? I have a symbol leaning to the right. That means knit 2 stitches together on this chart. I slide the marker. I'm going back up to the highlight, knit 1, then I slip, slip, I slip, slip, knit, yarn over, my 3 friends are right there, 1, 2, 3, see them? I knit 3, 1, 2, 3, they're like landmarks, remember? Yarn over, now I knit 2 stitches together, which will, all right, in the highlight, but I have one more repeat, see it? One more repeat. So I slide the mark and I'm back up to the yellow highlight at the beginning of row 7. Knit 1. Knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. You knit 3. 1, 2 and 3, yarn over, I knit 2 stitches together, and look, I only have 1 stitch left, which is the plus 1 stitch right there on row 7. So I knit that last stitch and I'm up to the border marker, so I slide the marker and I knit off my 4-stitch border. Well, now, you're going to, of course, finish the wrong side row, and then you will have worked the chart one time all the way through. Now, since we are going to do a project, I suggest, just for the fun of it, like I said, if you're just sitting there and you just kind of, you're liking the idea of getting into the chart, or you already have gotten into it, go ahead and work it, because we're going to work the chart on the project, I think about 6, 7, 8 times. I can't remember. I have to count. I think about 6, 7, or 8 times. About 7 or 8 times. So just for the fun of it, go ahead and work it 3 or 4 times just on your swatch, just so that you can get the rhythm. And you kind of, if you notice, you have to watch out for when they switch the stitches. Even I got too comfortable and kept going to the left when it had already switched to the right. These 2 rows in the center are, you think they're exactly alike, but the yarn over's in a different place. And then the one at the top, it's the exact same thing. It kind of matches row 1, but things are switched. So just take your time and just look at each symbol. And I suggest call them out to yourself, just like I do. I like hearing myself say symbol to the left. Then I know right away. Symbol to the right, or lean to the right. It just helps you. And you can think of your own little ideas. All right, so let me come back and show you my score and tell you if I have any last thoughts about us getting started for our summer school for stitching for 2026. I'm so excited, and I hope you like the new little format, the layout I'm going to do. It's going to be surprising. And let me just get back. I'll come back in just a moment. All right, my friends, I am back. I'm back with my test score. Okay, let's take a look. I was able to write up my little test score right away. So I want to see, so that you'll have something to compare your test score, and eventually you can just keep adding on. Just get yourself a little book or something, a tablet or whatever, a little notepad, and as we do different symbols, go ahead and start, marking them down, and you can use them later. All right, on Jay's test score, we had a category of anything that leaned to the left would be a slip knit. That's a decrease. Okay, then anything leaning to the right, we simply knit 2 together in my little system to keep it simple. These can mean other things a little later, but right now this is the basic, all right? Then I shared with you a lot of symbols, and I asked you, which category do you think they fell into? Well, one of the first things I said, though, when we started this little venture, it all depends on whether anything goes to the left or does it go to the right. Even in cabling, if it goes to the left, it means front or forward. If it goes to the right, it means back. Well, on these stitches, when we look at each symbol, how many saw that this symbol, it looks like an empty, I guess you'd call it like a triangle. Okay? It could go either way. It's an empty triangle that could fit inside of a square on a knitting chart. So if you turn what you want to do is look at the long side. See the long side? Okay, the long side, you can turn it or orientate it around, turn it around so that the long side is leaning to the right. So I could use this as a knit 2 stitches together, and they do. Okay, on the back burner, I can take that same stitch and turn it so that the long side goes to the left. Then, even though it's the same little drawing, this long side going to the left means, okay, it's a left leaning decrease. I lost my train of thought. I thought, where am I? it would be a left leaning or slip slip knit. Or as Son, like I said, many places other than here where in the States would just simply do a slip one, knit one, pass a slip stitch over. They like that better, I guess. Then, of course, here's the same symbol that you could have leaning to the right, knit two together, and sometimes it has a little leg down. Well, if you flipped it and lean it to the left, you can use it as a slip slip knit. See, it depends on, look at the long line. Find something that's long or something that tells you it's leaning either to the left or to the right. Now, I see a lot of this on Pinterest, these funny triangles, all right, or whatever you call those things on the typewriter. Okay, and they'll have a 2 or 3 or something. Well, look how it's pointing. Where is it pointing? It's pointing to the left. So I would use this as a double decrease, a slip slip knit. This funny little, on this side, it is pointing to the right, has a 2 in it, and I would use it as a knit 2 together. If I wanted knit 3 together, I'd put a 3 in here. If I wanted slip, 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 make it 3 decreases, I'd put a 3. What do you think of that? I'm going to come back to these two. Let's go down here to the bottom. This you'll see in a lot of charts on Pinterest where they just take the triangle and they just black it in, just block it out. Just put black all the way through. But you still look to which side, where is the long side? Which way is it pointing? So this one is pointing to the right, so I'd still use this symbol as a knit 2 together. But if I flip the symbol and let it point to have the long side going to the left, I'd use it as a slip slip knit or knit one, slip one, knit one, pass the slip stitch over. Now this symbol, these two that I skipped, when I'm looking at some of the charts on Pinterest, and if they're real clear, and I have my magnifying glass out. All right, I notice that if I see this symbol here, like a V, and it has a number, all right, you know how when when stitches are going up the side and then they have the yarn overs, this symbol always goes up the right side beside the yarn over. It may be this symbol yarn over, this symbol yarn over, but they're always going to the right. So I have to assume that this is what they use it as a knit 2 together. Okay? And then sometimes I watch their hands, and that's a lot of fun. Just watch how people knit if they're not speaking English or not speaking at all. Okay? But I notice automatically when I see a chart that uses this symbol and they're kind of going this direction, like stair step up the right side, they always seem to use this one with like an arrow pointing downward that has a yarn over, then this sign, yarn over sign, and it stair steps over to the left. So and watch their hands when they're knitting. If they do knit on camera, I can see that they, like I said, they slip one, knit one, pass the slip stitch over, but I would just simply slip, slip, knit. So you see, there's lots of these things, they're just interchangeable. It's, for us here in the West, we do the system, if you lean to the left, it's one, it's a slip stitch. If it leans to the right, it's a knit stitch, knit 2 together, knit 3 together, or whatever. Does that make sense? Now, give yourself a little score and just settle back. And as we learn, I will share more with you as we go and as we work our way through summer school for stitching for 2026, because I've got a lot of new things coming. And I got a new format, and I want to see if you like it after this video. This is video number 1, starting off the summer school for stitching. Now, the next thing coming up, I'm going to use our beautiful swatch in a project, because not only my birthday, but I'm sure there's more people's birthday coming up in June. And of course I want to share it with anyone and everyone and show you Jay has a new sweater. Jay has a new sweater, and this is a stitch we're going to use in the sweater. That's why I suggest that you just practice it on some scrap yarn to get the rhythm of the stitch, to just get in and be able to read the chart without hesitation and know when they switch. You know, don't let it catch you off guard and they switching from left to right or right to left. So, what do you think of that? Oh, we have a lot I've got going on. I'm working as fast as I can. The sweater's done, but of course, I got to film it and do all that, and I'm going to do my best to get on camera. So, but I wanted to kind of inspire you to say, okay, and to tell other people and to share the video, because I really want to make this summer school for stitching real special for 2026. I'm losing my voice. So, give me some feedback. Let me know if you enjoyed this and that you're looking forward. Like I said, right, we just, well, I don't want to say too much. I just want to get back on camera next week, or as quick as I can. Like I said, it's done, but I got to film and do all deletes and film again and delete and film again. And put my lipstick on again and film again. Oh, so thank you so much for joining me, for getting me started. And it means a lot to hear from you. And like I said, I'm going to really start asking people to really help me to get my videos and my tutorials out, because I'm telling you, I feel like a different person now. I just feel like I've got something going and I want to keep it going. And I'm excited. So this is video number 1, and we'll put a 1 down there on the video somewhere on the thumbnail so you'll know it. So we're going to keep, like I said, I don't want to say too much. Well, until we get to the next, to the project for June, and June is special. This is Bird. Tweet, tweet. Say, look at the camera, Bird. Look at the camera. This is Bird, and this is Jay, and saying thank you so much for joining us and being a part of Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And looking forward to sharing with you just as soon as we get everything ready. Take care. Bye-bye.